If you have ever gotten a call from an insurance adjuster and thought, this person's actually pretty nice, I want you to remember one thing. They're not paid to be nice, they are paid to close claims for as little as possible. And most people lose money on their injury claim for one reason. They ask the wrong questions or they do not ask any questions at all. I'm Tennessee attorney John Griffith, and in this video, I'm giving you 5 questions insurance adjusters do not want you to ask. Not because the questions are rude, but because these questions force clarity, and clarity costs them money. Quick note before we jump in, this is general information, not legal advice for your specific case. Every crash, every injury, and every policy is different. Now let's get into it. Why these questions change everything. When you talk to an adjuster, you are usually talking to someone who has handled thousands of claims. You are handling one. That experience gap is where people get steamrolled. The adjuster knows what you do not know yet. They know what ends claims quickly. They know which words make you relax. They know what paperwork quietly shuts the door on future compensation. So your goal is not to win the phone call. Your goal is to slow the process down just enough to protect your money, protect your medical care, and protect your future. These 5 questions do that. Question 1. What is the full value of my claim, including future costs? What is the full value of my claim, including future medical care, future time off work, and any long-term limitations? Adjusters love to talk about what is right in front of you. The ER bill, the first urgent care visit, the tow bill, the rental car for a few days. But injuries do not live on a 2-week timeline. A minor rear-end collision in Nashville can turn into months of physical therapy. A shoulder injury that seems sore can turn into an MRI and an orthopedic specialist. A concussion can mess with your sleep and focus long after your car is repaired. So when you ask for the full value, you are forcing the adjuster to acknowledge something they would rather avoid. Future costs exist and they count. In Tennessee, the time window to file many personal injury actions is short. Most actions for injuries to the person must be commenced within 1 year after the cause of action accrued. That is Tennessee Code Annotated Section 28-3-104. That does not mean you rush into a cheap settlement. It means you take the claim seriously early so you do not run out of runway later. Here's a simple way to say it on the phone. I'm not discussing settlement numbers until I understand the full picture, including my future medical care. What amount are you valuing future treatment and future limitations at? And then stay quiet. If they answer with something like, we can't know that yet, your response is, exactly, and that's why I'm not settling yet. If you want to push a little further, ask this in follow-up. Are you valuing pain and suffering and loss of enjoyment of life, or are you only talking about bills so far? That question matters because your claim is not just receipts, it is the human cost of the injury. Question 2, can you put that in writing? This question is your lie detector. Can you put that in writing? Adjusters love phone calls because phone calls are slippery. Everyone remembers the conversation differently later. You might hear, don't worry, we'll take care of you. We'll cover the rental. We'll handle the medical bills. We'll pay for your missed work. Cool. Put it in writing. That's all I ask. Because if it's not written down, it's not real. Here is the exact language I want you to use. Thanks. Please email me a written summary of what you just said, including what you're agreeing to pay, what you are not agreeing to pay, and any deadlines you are asking me to meet. If they hesitate, that hesitation is information. A fair offer and a clean process can survive daylight. A sketchy one cannot. And this is not just about promises, it is also about pressure. If they push you to sign something quickly, you need to ask, can you email me the release and highlight what rights I'm giving up? You'd be shocked how many people sign a release without reading it because the adjuster makes it feel routine. Nothing about a release is routine. This is the more money might exist question. What coverages apply to this claim, and what are the policy limits for each coverage? Most people only think about one pot of money, the at-fault driver's liability policy. But real cases can involve layers, including the at-fault driver's liability coverage, your own uninsured motorist or underinsured motorist coverage, your medical payments coverage if available, commercial policies if the driver was working, umbrella coverage in higher asset situations, Tennessee has detailed rules around uninsured motorist coverage in Tennessee Code Annotated Section 56.7.1201. That statute addresses how uninsured motorist coverage applies in different situations, including priorities of recovery, limitations, and certain requirements for unknown drivers in hit-and-run situations. Here's why this matters in real life. Say you were hit in Knoxville by a driver with low limits. Their insurer wants to wrap your case for what feels like a lot until you realize it does not even cover your medical care, let alone your time off work. Or if you're in a hit and run near Memphis, you do not have a name, you do not have a policy number, and the adjuster starts acting like you are stuck. You might not be stuck. You might have uninsured motorist coverage that steps in, but it has rules. For example, the Tennessee uninsured motorist statute includes requirements in certain unknown driver situations, including prompt reporting to law enforcement. Also, Tennessee law includes language that an insurer shall not increase auto rates or cancel coverage due solely to the payment of an uninsured motorist claim. So do not let anyone scare you away from using your own coverage you've already paid for. Here's the clean question to ask every adjuster. Please identify every coverage that could apply, including liability, medpay, uninsured motorists, underinsured motorists, and any umbrella coverage, and tell me the limits for each one. If they say we can't discuss limits, don't argue, just take a note. That is a moment when a lawyer can step in and get the necessary information through proper channels. This is the question that prevents the biggest regret. If I accept this settlement, does it close my claim for good, even if I have new symptoms or new medical bills later? Because in most cases, once you sign a release and take the check, the case is over. No do-overs. And that is exactly why early offers show up fast. Think about the timing. The adjuster calls you when you're still in pain, still missing work, and still unsure what is wrong. They offer quick money. They tell you it's fair. They frame it as being helpful. But the release is not helpful. It's final. Here's an example I see all the time. You get hit, for example, in Murfreesboro. You feel stiff but functional. You take a small settlement. 2 weeks later, your back locks up. Then you learn you need injections or months of therapy. Too late. So ask this plainly. Is this a full and final settlement with a full release? If I sign it, am I giving up any future right to compensation for treatment? And then ask one more question. Is this offer meant to cover future medical care, or are you valuing my future care at zero? You're not being difficult, you're being accurate. This is the question that turns a small case into a fully paid case. Who else may be legally responsible for this, and do they have their own insurance? Adjusters want you staring at one person, they're insured. But a lot of accidents involve more than one responsible party, like a driver and their employer if they were working, a trucking company plus the driver, a business that caused a hazardous condition, a vehicle owner who negligently entrusted the car to an unsafe driver, a contractor or property owner in certain roadway or premises scenarios, a manufacturer in certain defect scenarios. Even in a basic crash, this comes up. If you get hit by a delivery driver in Franklin, for example, you might be dealing with a commercial policy, not just a personal auto policy. If you get hit by someone driving a company car in Chattanooga, there may be an additional coverage through the employer. If you were injured in a rideshare situation, there may be layered coverage depending on the status of the app. And here's the sneaky part. Insurance companies also try to push some blame onto you because it reduces what they pay. Tennessee adopted a modified comparative fault system, and the Tennessee Supreme Court explains that a plaintiff may recover so long as the plaintiff's negligence remains less than the defendant's negligence, with damages reduced by the plaintiff's percentage of fault. So if an adjuster can nudge the story into shared fault, they win leverage over you. That is why you should be very careful about casual statements like, I didn't see them, I might have been going a little too fast, I'm not sure if my blinker was on, or I'm fine. Those sentences can be twisted into percentage points. So your question is, other than your insurer, is there any other person or company who may share responsibility, and do they have insurance? If the adjuster acts confused or says, I don't know, that's fine. You're planting the flag that you are not limiting yourself to one policy without doing your homework. Quick Tennessee trap people do not expect. Let me give you one more practical point, because adjusters sometimes throw this into the conversation like it's a gotcha. Seatbelt usage. Tennessee law addresses when a failure to wear a seatbelt can be used in a civil case, and it's not as simple as people think. Tennessee Code Annotated Section 55-9-604 says failure to wear a safety belt is generally not admissible in a civil action, with a limited exception structure tied to certain product liability and causation conditions. So if an adjuster starts fishing about your seatbelt early, that is a signal. Do not start debating legal issues on the phone. Stick to facts and get guidance. What to do if the adjuster dodges or pressures you? If you ask these questions and the adjuster dodges, delays, or gets pushy, here's the move. Slow down the conversation. Take notes. Ask for it in writing. Stop talking and let the attorney handle it if you feel outmatched. A simple line that works is, "I'm not comfortable answering that right now. Please email me your request and I'll respond after I review it." Or, "I'm not giving a recorded statement today. If one is needed, my attorney will coordinate it." Silence is your friend. You do not need to fill it. Here are the 5 questions again. Save them, screenshot them, use them. What is the full value of my claim, including future costs? Can you put that in writing? What coverages apply and what are the limits? If I accept this, does it close my claim for good? Who else may be liable and do they have insurance? When you ask these, you stop being their easy file. You become the file that requires fair math, real documentation, and real accountability. The next steps. If you're dealing with an adjuster right now and you feel like the process is moving fast, here's your next step. Get your medical care lined up. Keep records. Do not sign anything you do not understand. And remember, Tennessee has a short 1-year window for many personal injury lawsuits under TCA 28-3-104. Now, if you want a simple step-by-step breakdown of what to do after a crash when you are not at fault, watch the next video. Not at fault car accident claims process in a nutshell. And if you want help evaluating your situation here in Tennessee, reach out to my office. Our information can be found in the video description because a quick conversation early can prevent expensive mistakes later. Be sure to check out that next video and we'll see you over there.